Hi. It's time to develop your outline. And one of the things that I wanted to do was to show you how to use Noodle Tools and the outline template that I gave you, or that your teacher gave you in your assignment. Here is the assignment. How does power shape the world? It's the summative. This is your working assignment that once you've created your outline in Noodle Tools, and gotten all your note cards where you want them to be and kind of got your structure of your outline, you're going to copy and paste that document into this project. And this is where you will work once you paste it in there for the entire time. So that way your teacher has access to your document to help you and to give you tips and to just make sure that you have what you need from us. It makes it real easy for us to communicate if we share those documents that way. So that is why we're doing it that way. So in this document, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to still be working in Noodle Tools. You're going to create your outline there. And then once that's been created, you're going to paste it on top of the document we provided for you here. So here's the outline template. So I have opened this document up. So when you click on this outline template, you can see that there are there's the introduction section. There's two options for the body section, and then a conclusion down here for you at the bottom, and then your works cited. So those are the parts of the outline that we're going to be looking for, which should be no surprise. That's pretty standard. There's a difference, though, in how you want to structure your essay, which your Titan Talk will be an essay before it becomes a speech. And so you want to really lay out what you want to talk about before you get there. So this is the body of the essay. So you're going to have to detail your situation. So there's two ways to talk about it. There is where you talk about the topic, then you talk about the power dynamic, or vice versa. Those can go in either order. And then you connect the two in a third body paragraph. So that's option A, or option one. Option two is you interweave them together. So you talk about the detail of the aspect, talk about the power, connect them with it in one paragraph. So it really just depends on how you want to connect it and how many different areas of power you're trying to connect in different ways, and how you kind of envision the connection between the two. If it really makes sense for your audience to see each thing completely separately before you connect them, then the option one is what you want. If you really want them to see how it's kind of consistently growing throughout, then option two is what you want. One is not better than the other. It just depends on the way you need to structure your argument for the point you're trying to make. So that's what I want you to think about, is which way is your mind kind of going with that. And so what you're going to do is you're going to be in Noodle Tools, and you can see I've got my note cards and I've piled them here just by dragging and putting them on top of each other. These I labeled power. This is solutions. This is likes equals self-worth. So this is going to be my section where I talk about the likes, and then this is going to be my section where I talk about the power. I've already taken my thesis statement and pasted it here. Then I'm going to go into this document that I just showed you, and I'm going to, for this particular essay at this point, I'm going to talk about the topic, then the power dynamic. And so that's what I want to start with first. So I am going to think about, okay, A needs to be my topic. So I'm going to put here, instead of body paragraph A, I'm going to put social media, because that's my general topic. I might get that more specific. So, and then I'm going to add from this a sibling or a child. Whoops. And so that's dragged out. That's added at the bottom, and that's not where I want it. So I'm going to drag it, and I'm going to put it under social media here. We'll delete it. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to click on this. I want to add a child, and I want it to be I want to talk about the likes and self-worth here. Okay. So I'm going to add my subtopics, and then this is a quote I found from one of my sources. So I'm going to drag this over here, and I'm going to add it in right here. Okay. So when I first get started, I'm not going to type in all of my complete sentences and every details, but as I get going, I'm probably going to be adding more detail. So these note cards here are all about power. Okay. So I want to change this idea, and I want it to match my thesis statement with the hierarchy, false self-worth, unutilized potential. So So the hierarchy is kind of arbitrary. It's kind of like, oh, cool lip gloss, or like depending on what you look for, like that guy's an awesome gamer. Awesome. But or I watch yoga videos or see yoga on Instagram quite a bit. It's like, okay, great. So you have a great location and you can do a downward dog. Does that make you somebody who is really able to produce and do stuff in life? And I'm not really sure that equates. And what I want to say here is that the hierarchy, my goodness, it helps if I can type, it leads to unutilized potential. And I want to say actually human potential, because that's really what the article was talking about. And I agree. And so then I'm going to talk about, actually, I want to put this down here as my, I want to move it over. I want that to be my connection. So really with body paragraph, the second body paragraph, which I kind of flipped around now, this B body paragraph, I really want this to be about like hierarchy. What is hierarchy? And okay. So those are the two things I really want to cover in that, because I want to define what those terms are for my audience so that they understand what I mean. So I'm going to click on these and let's see, this is the unutilized. So I'm going to add this here and it's going to pull it in. And I want to talk about how it's good. It's got an order to it and that's beneficial. So I'm going to add that and I want to put this above. I want to talk about hierarchy first and kind of define it. And then I want to talk about, yeah, there are good things about hierarchy. We need hierarchies, but yet when they're arbitrary or based on something that doesn't necessarily impact a lot of change in the world or push us to a better place, then then it means that we have unutilized potential for just sitting there staring at people putting on lip gloss or doing downward dogs all day. So so this is good. It differentiates authority and it raises productivity when it's used effectively. So I think those are important things, because the productivity is the thing that I'm really most interested in there, is that we're losing the potential. So I want to put this productivity idea down here in my connection. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that yet, but to me, the idea of connecting the idea that we need to like use social media to be able to make sure that we're becoming more productive as a human existence. And so that's kind of going down here. So I'm dragging and dropping them over here. And then as I work through, I'm going to create these ideas more. Instead of making this a question, I'm going to make it a statement. I'm going to make it a complete sentence. And then I'm going to add in another complete sentence here above this thing. So I'm going to plus a subtopic above this idea. And I want to really kind of come into this. I'm going to make this a sentence that describes the potential. Okay, so that's what I want to do with this. And I'm going to slide this up above. I'm going to move this note card down. I'm not sure which way it's going to make it go. Okay, so hierarchy. And so this first topic kind of up here is I want to add a child, and I want to say, I'm going to define and describe hierarchy. So this is where I'll pull, I'll pull the description from the article we read and make sure that I have that idea in there. And it's not letting me pull it, but we're just going to pull it right up there. Or we'll slide this here, and you just move them around. This is being a little persnickety right now. I think I got too many things happening at the same time. There we go. And then I'm going to take this one and put it up here above that. So I'm going hierarchy. Then I'm giving some definitions about it. I'm talking about potential, and then that. So I want these to actually be the descriptions, not just the thing. So that is what you're going to do with creating this, and you're going to go through and you're going to build off of this outline and then just add your pieces in over here on the right. And that way you can kind of make sure you've covered everything and use it like a checklist to make sure you've got all the parts you need for your outline. When you're done and you're ready to share this and you're like, okay, this is good, and you're ready, you've got all of it done. So you've got your conclusion blocked out. There shouldn't be any new, in your conclusion, you shouldn't be adding any new evidence, but kind of revisiting the points before. So you won't need note cards in the conclusion, but you might need note cards up here in your introduction, in your context and hook to describe some things. And so that might be something to think about how you want to do that. So when you're ready to print it, your outline is done and you feel really good and you don't need to work on your outline anymore. You're going to go to more. You're going to click on print. Okay. Outline with note cards will include all of the specific note cards and all the bits and pieces. If you did some of the paraphrasing and you did some of the other parts, it'll include all of that. So you click outline with note cards and you want a Google Doc and you're going to click submit. It's going to create for you a Google Doc that will be your outline. You need to take this outline, okay, this whole thing, it's got your outline, it goes all the way down to you. So I've got my note cards here, direct quote, and then my citations. And if you scroll down, you've got, everything you need right here. You've got your sources here. So then you can drag and drop these down to your, can drag your sources down to your works cited and do that. So I might do a little cleaning up with these. They're kind of hard to read. So like I said, you might pull the sources down or leave them here for now, because you also will need to make sure that that you have citations behind them, and none of these will have citations there automatically. So that's one of the things that you're going to have to do before you start your rough draft. So for this point, you're just going to take this, you're going to hit Control A, and you're going to highlight it all. Okay, so Control A highlights everything. You're going to do Control C for a copy. Okay, and you notice here you've got your outline, you got your title there. So that's going to live in your drive as kind of a backup for you, which is kind of nice. Then you're going to go into this assignment and you are going to add it where it says My Document. You're going to click on My Document and you're going to paste it, Control V, into the document that's provided for you here. Okay, and when you do that, that will allow me to be able to see everything you're doing. So then you're going to only work in this document from now on, the one that is created by us and given to you to work in. You can have that other outline in your drive as just kind of a backup in case you need something, or maybe you lose a note card or something when you're organizing and writing, or your citation, you're nervous that maybe that's not right. So you've got that as a backup, but you will not be using that one from now on. So this is where you're going to submit it here. Okay, click My Document and click Submit. If you have any questions, please send us an email.